let's talk about the outputs of MM, right? I think we have talked about the genesis, we have talked about the myths. Now let's come back to the various outputs of MM, starting with the contribution chart. What is it? Can you unpack that for the audience?
Sure. So the contribution chart is a simple and a visual way of representing the output of marketing mix model. So the fundamental output of MM is you are able to understand what is driving sales or market share on any other KPI, let's say top of mind awareness or spontaneous awareness, etc. So it gives you a drill down of, let's say, 20% is the contribution from TV, or 20% is the contribution from Facebook or Google, and it gives you which all the mediums out of these are driving more sales. And of course, it also gives you an idea what is the baseline sales. And then if there are negative factors like price changes or competition, then it also gives you information about how much is the negative impact of competition activity on your brand. In fact, from my experience, I have also seen that there are certain competitors who could drive up your sales, so there could be a positive impact of that too. But predominantly, there could be a negative impact from competition's TV ad or any other advertisements. So it does give you a split, and across industry, there are different names which people call a contribution chart. I've heard due tos, which is like giving a due amount of information, to each
Yeah,
medium
it is
that is
because of, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
because of or due to this
yeah.
TV that you're getting, let's say, X amount of sales, and all of that.
Mhm. There are predominantly two types of contribution, right? I mean,
Yeah.
one is the absolute summing up to 100 and the non-absolute. Can you unpack also that for us?
Sure. So it's just a way of reading the data, I would say. So when it comes to a proportion, so at the end, when you're reading a marketing mix modeling solution, you're reading how much proportion of sales comes from each medium or each promotion, etc. So let's say 20% comes from one medium, another 10 from another medium, another 5 from another medium, and so on. Ultimately, it has to sum up to 100, right? That 100% is your total sales, and you give a split of what each factor is positively or negatively contributing. So when you add up all the contributions, you would definitely get something called as 100%. This is one method where you add up the contributions while considering the same negative signs also of each of the variable. This is called as non-absolute summing up to 100. And
Mhm.
then there are other organizations who are used to reading it as something exactly summing up to 100. So they kind of ignore the negative sign on the negative variables and then just add the magnitude of the contribution together, and that magnitude without the signs just sum up to 100.
Mhm.
It's just an easy way of representing if the second method, which is absolute summing up to 100, is adopted by some of the customers, I would say.
Mhm.